In this video, we are going to cover 2.6 and 2.7, which are linear inequalities and absolute value inequalities. For our warm-up, let's take a look. Use interval notation to indicate all real numbers greater than or equal to 2. Using our interval notation, greater than or equal to indicates bracket, and so that will be -2 comma infinity with a bracket around -2. Interval notation for numbers including -3 and 5 in between, so -3 comma 5 with brackets. Okay. Express all numbers less than 2 or greater than or equal to 3, so less than 2 tells us we're going to have parentheses. And we're going to have a union because we're then greater than or equal to 3. So go ahead and put that in a bracket around the 3. Okay. Number 4, we're going to solve. Let's go ahead and just treat this like a normal equation. Subtract 2x from both sides. And then subtract 7 from both sides. Divide by 2. And x is greater than or equal to -5. Or in interval notation, -5 to infinity. Let's take a look at this next one. Looks very similar. We'll go ahead and add the 7x on both sides. And then we'll add 4 on both sides. We divide by 17. We're left with x is less than 1. You could also write it this way, and that will be 1 with a bracket for interval notation. Let's take a look at this compound inequality. Okay, for compound inequality, you are going to have essentially 3 sections. So you could treat these as 3 different sections. We're going to go ahead and subtract 2 from each section. And then we will divide by 2 in each section. So there's our solution in inequality notation. Our solution with interval notation would look like this. Okay, on the next page, we have some different guidelines for notation. Keep in mind that open circles go with, greater than or less than is going to be parentheses, whereas greater than equal to, less than equal to will be brackets. That's really the main thing here. If you have multiple things happening, we have unions. Oops. There we go. Here we are. Apologies for that. It just reset on me. We have unions for multiple things, whereas brackets for greater than, equal to, less than equal to, parentheses for less than, greater than. Let's take a look at absolute value inequalities briefly. The thing here is that you must create 2 equations once absolute value is on its own. So we'll go ahead and subtract 2. Okay, now that absolute value is alone, go ahead and split into 2 equations. You have the original equation, and you have the equation with a flipped inequality symbol and the opposite sign, and you solve for those separately. Okay, this tends to trick people. Don't overthink it. So x is greater than 4, or x is less than -1. So my interval notation would be -1, whoops, negative infinity to -1 and 4 to infinity. Same thing's going to happen here when we divide by this -2. We have x minus 4. We're going to flip the symbol when we divide by a negative. And then we can go ahead and write two separate equations. Let me switch colors here. So we have x minus 4 greater than or equal to 2/3 and x minus 4 less than equal to 2/3. That x is greater than or equal to 2/3 plus 4, and x is less than equal to 2/3. Oops, negative 2/3 plus 4. Okay. That's going to be x is greater than or equal to 5.5, and x is less than or equal to 2.5. Okay, so that's going to be negative infinity to 2.5, and, oops, that should be a bracket, 5.5 to infinity. Let's take a look at this last one. We're going to go ahead and add that to, we'll have x plus 5 less than 10 split into two equations. There's the original. The second one will flip the symbol and flip the sign, and we will subtract 5, subtract 5. So we're less than 5 and greater than -15. So -15 comma 5 in parentheses. That covers it for sections 2.6 and 2.7.